All yours. Bye-bye.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to yoga. Today is, I think, the last Zoom class on the Wednesday because as of tomorrow, we'll be back at the club. So hopefully I will see you all in person. I know it's lovely to have the recording, though you can always do some yoga at home. So today is going to just be an all-rounded practice. I thought we'd do a little bit of movement. Please make sure you have some blocks or books or coffee cups or something to put your hands on. If you don't, that's fine too. I can modify. So sit comfortably on a comfortable cushion or a blanket or some books, just to elevate the pelvis so that you're not slumping. I know sometimes it's hard to sit on the floor. And cross your shins. Just pull your feet out a little bit so your shins are crossed in the front, your knees line up with your hips. If your knees end up here, sit on higher height. Lovely. Then just take your hands behind you, roll your shoulders back and lift your chest. Beautiful, good. Now bring your hands onto the back of your legs, palms are up, thumb and index fingers touch. Close your eyes and just come into your breath. Take a few centering breaths. Inhale in through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Just allow this breath to move through you. And as you inhale, start to feel the breath move down, feeling the chest, the ribs, the belly, right into the pelvic floor. And then as you exhale, can you lift the pelvic floor in and up on the exhale? So think of drawing in and up on the exhalation without tension, all the way to the top. And then inhale, breathe in, fill up. Exhale, breathe out, lifting on the exhale. So the breath lifts up on the exhale. That little core strength line in the body. And then releasing, inhale, breathe in again. And exhale, like you're filling a vessel. Good, inhale, fill that vessel all the way to the top. And exhale, find that little internal lift, just small, don't overdo it. So you feel that connection, the core connection. We're working with the core connection today, the frontal fascial lines. It's really finding that support system for the body. So you might start to build a little bit of heat, a couple more breaths. Inhale, breathe in through the nose. And as you exhale, think of drawing in and up very subtly. Beautiful. Now let all of that go and join your palms together towards your heart. Take a full breath, inhale. As you exhale, bow your head down towards your heart. Set your intention for your practice. And then on the next inhalation, slowly take the head up and open the eyes. Beautiful. Bring your arms down and then just roll your shoulders a few times. Good. Just find some movement. Just like to warm up the body, the side body, front body, back body. And now we're going to take your left hand, so I'll mirror you, and you're going to take your right arm up and over, coming to that beautiful side stretch. Reach right into your fingertips. You can look down, sideways or up. Press your right sitting bone down and stretch the whole side body. Good. Inhale, come back, hand comes down. Now the other arm comes up and over. Beautiful. And then again, inhale, arm comes up. A little windmill here, coming up and over, finding that nice side body stretch. And inhale, up you come. Exhale to the last side. Over towards your right. Good. And then come back. Once you're back, just take your shoulders and roll them up and back and down. Okay, just get some nice movement. This can feel really nice. You know, if you're having a lot of tension in the shoulders, you know, we always say the weight of the world is on the shoulders. Can you just release it? Can you let it go? Inhale, lift it up, and exhale, just let it go. Again, inhale, lift it up, exhale, let it go. One more time, inhale, exhale, sigh it out. Perfect. Now take your arms out, rotate your palms up, stretch your fingertips into the sides of your room. And then slowly lifting your arms up, stretch your arms, stretch your sideways. Perfect. Now rotate and turn to your left. Take your right hand onto your left knee, your left hand behind you, and just have a little turn here. It feels so nice, just bringing out any tension. Inhale, breathe in. Exhale, rotate, turn. And inhale, breathe in, exhale, rotate, turn. One more time, inhale, breathe in, exhale, rotate, turn. Lovely. And inhale, arms come up. Lift up, lift up, lift up. Rotate and turn to the right. Get all that length. And now you're going to take your left hand down onto your right knee. Your right hand will go behind you. Try not to lean backwards, sit tall, and start to turn. Remember, you're turning from above the navel, not from the low back. So just make sure that your low back isn't being squeezed or compressed here. You can make it really tiny if you're starting to feel tension in the low back. And stay here for 3 more breaths. Lovely. And then come all the way back. Beautiful. And then again, roll those shoulders last time. Perfect. Now pop off whatever prop you are sitting on. And if you have 2 blocks, books, soup cans, you can put them at the top of your mat. If you don't have anything, that is okay too. And you're going to bring your knees back so your knees are underneath your hips. Take your hands and place them underneath your shoulders and spread your palms. Make your palms really wide. And then back up just a tiniest bit. Good. Maybe a little softness in the elbows. Yeah. So that we're not overloading into the wrist line. Toes can be flexed. And then inhale, start to come forward into your cow pose. Ribs drop, tailbone lifts. You feel your shoulder blades knit together here. Really nice little back bend here, opening the chest. And then as you push into the earth, flex the spine and come into that beautiful cat pose. Lift your abdominals right up towards the spine. And then again, inhale, breathing in, filling up. Putting that breath traveling all the way down from the front line of the body right into the pelvic floor. And then as we exhale, let's lift on the exhale. Let's draw the abdominals in and up a little bit. So we start to feel support here. Start to feel maybe a little bit of heat through the body. The abdominals move towards the spine. The abdominals move towards the back waist. Good. Really nice and slow here. Inhale. Just focus on your breath. And exhale. If you would like to incorporate a yoga practice at home, you can just pick 1 or 2 poses to start and just stay with them for a few minutes. And that will start to just bring that focus into your body, into your mind, and start to maybe take away some of the tension of the day. That's all the good thing it's doing for the shoulders, joints, hip joints and knees, the muscles, the tendons, the ligaments. Full body practice. Beautiful. One more time. We'll inhale and come forward one more time. And then as we exhale, we'll lift up, tailbone drops down, vision is towards the knees, arms are straight. Make sure you're not locking your elbows. Tendency is to do that. You have a little softness in those elbows. Good. Now come back into table. And now make some big sweeping movement. So we're going to come back a little bit. We're going to bring the sitting bones back towards the heels. We're going to scoot around. You can even walk your knees back a little bit more if you have a little bit more movement here. Yeah, and just make some circles. You can get creative here. You could be really tiny little circles, or you can make them big. Good. Just start to feel that movement through the body. And then the other direction, just to balance out. Perfect, good. And then come back to table. Good, let's do a strengthening pose. So let's slide that right leg back. Now take it back slowly. Good, push into the toes. Keep your back of your pelvis absolute level. So if your coffee cup was resting on your sacrum, and slowly lift that leg up. Push into the heel. And then can you pick the left arm up? You can find your balance. You're just looking forward and down. Don't lift your head up. You can always do this on your right forearm if there's too much load on the wrist. Lovely. Take the hand and the knee down. And then slide your left leg back, lift it. And right arm comes forward. So you're just finding that balance. If you lift the leg too high, you'll start to notice your pelvis might roll. So you might want to keep it a little bit lower. It could be almost on the ground too. You feel some work in the glutes, hamstrings. Hopefully nothing's going on in the low back. All is well. Good, and then bring the hand down. Now you could stay with the same pose or you could add on a little bit. So left leg goes back, right arm forward. As you exhale, slowly draw the knee towards the elbow, lift the abdominals in and back. Get that deep core line working and then stretch that arm out. Good, exhale, hug in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, hug in. Inhale, stretch it out. One more time. Exhale, hug in. Inhale, lengthen. And hand and knee come down. Good. In between, let's do a cat-cow. Inhale. Exhale. If you have moved your knees back a little bit, do make sure they're right underneath the hips, okay? Slide your left leg back. So as you push your toes into the ground, you should feel the back of the leg wake up. And then like an elevator, you're lifting the leg slowly, slowly, slowly. Keep the hips level. One side might be a little bit weaker and right arm comes forward. Find your balancing cat to start. Stay here, or you have your balance. Take a breath. Inhale, exhale, draw in. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, curl. Again, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, hug in. Let's do two more. Inhale. Exhale, one more. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Now hand and knee come down. Now this time we're going to bring our knees back a little bit. And we're going to bring our hips back. Keep your toes flexed. And stretch your arms forward. Perfect. Now start to inflate your back. So think of a cat. Take a breath, inhale, and rise up. So really come up slowly. Shoulders arrive above the wrists, and you might want to come a little bit forward and maybe even changing the feet. Elbows bend. Good. Now push into the earth. Draw yourself all the way back. Good. When you arrive, you're going to do it again. Inhale, come up. Think of rising from the earth. Shoulders above the wrist like a plank. Top of the feet may come down or keep the toes flexed. And come forward into a version of a little cobra pose, a back bend. Good. Now push firmly into the ground. Change your feet. And push back. So we'll do this a few more times, just warming up the joints. Good. Inhale, rising from the earth. Shoulders above the wrists. Maybe top of the feet down. They can always stay here too. It's a little gentler. And press back. Good, two more times. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Inhale and exhale. Just breathing. Don't get too caught up when you're breathing. When you need to inhale to start. And then maybe exhale to come forward. Take a big breath. Inhale to lift you up. And exhale to press you back. Let's do one more. Inhale. Exhale. Notice they get a little bit easier each time. Lovely. Once you're back, just stay back. Keep the toes flexed. Walk your arms over to the right. Yeah, feel that nice stretch in the left side. It'll feel so good through the left ribs. you want a little more stretch, you just pick up that left hand, place it on the back of the right hand. You could also bring that right forearm down. That will give you a deeper stretch. Don't overdo it. Good. And then come back to center. First of all, you're going to stretch those arms straight forward and then walk your hands over to the other side. And notice the difference. You know, one side might be a lot tighter. Teach you how it works. Maybe the right hand is placed on the back of the left hand. Maybe the left forearm comes down. Just kind of prying the right ribs open. Very nice, good. And then come back again, a nice big stretch forward. Good. And now you're going to, if you're going into downward dog, you're going to take your knees off the ground and lift up into downward dog. But keep your heels high, spread your toes, bend your knees, and pull the heels up towards the ceiling. Yeah, so you're going to feel quite a nice little bend in the toes here. Okay, right on the balls of the feet, like the base of the toes. Good. So keep your sitting bones elevated. Draw your torso towards your thighs, so you deeply bend the hip crease. And then decide, I think I'll let my heels go downwards. Now they might not make it all the way to the earth. That is absolutely fine. Once they do come down, can you bend one leg and straighten the other? Good, just walking in slow motion. So you might find when you do that, you get the heel a little closer to the ground. At any time, knees can come onto the earth for a break. Lovely, good. And let's just bring those knees down for a moment and sink back for a moment, child's pose. Yeah, keep the arms elevated though, unless you need to bring the elbows down. And take a breath here. Inhale and exhale. Lovely. Now come back up. So you're coming back up into downward dog if that's appropriate. Otherwise, do puppy dog. So you're back up. Good. Now rise up onto the balls of the feet. Feel your heels lift. I call these my downward dog waves. I'm going to ripple through my spine like it's a beautiful wave. I'm going to lift up and pull my body forward so my shoulders arrive above the wrists. Knees can come down here if you need to. Now I'm going to lift up on the inhalation again. Take a breath. Inhale. And actually we'll lift on the exhale. I'm going to draw my abdominals towards my spine. So I come back up on the exhale. So a little more supportive. Good. Think of a wave. Inhale, rolling forward like a little cat pose that turns into a plank pose. And then as I exhale, lift your abdominals. Remember that deep core line. Exhale, curling back. Your knees can come down at any time. We're going to do two more. Inhale, coming forward, shoulders above the wrists. Exhale, draw the abdominals towards the back waist as you peel up right on your tippy toes, and then the heels come down. Good, next one will stay. So we're going to come forward into plank. And I encourage you to put your knees down if it bothers your wrist. Otherwise, can you keep your knees up? Can you lift your abdominals towards your back waist and spread your shoulder blades flat on your back ribs? Look slightly forward and down towards the earth. Beautiful. Take your knees down. Now you might want to use your forearms to come to the earth. Otherwise, elbows hug in and we lower all the way down. Now my blocks are slightly in the way. I'm going to move them out. And now bring your hands underneath your shoulders. On the inhalation, you're going to just lift the chest. Just away from the earth. Keep the hands pressing down. You can come up as high as is comfortable for your back bend. So don't go into your low back here. Good. Inhale, coming forward and up. Think of getting longer as you leave the earth. Toes are reaching back, crown of the head is reaching forward, and then we're lowering all the way to the earth. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do two more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. This time as we come up, perhaps the hands can lift. Start to feel the work in the upper spine, and maybe those legs lift. So now, not only is the upper spine working, so are the glutes, the hamstrings. Now, can you keep a sense of lightness in the pose? Can you stay with your breath? 3 breaths. Beautiful. Now take your hands down by your side ribs. Flex your toes. Do a little push-up. Use the back of your arms to come up. So you're right here with your arms straight, knees down. Go all the way back, creating that length through the spine. Beautiful. And then lift up. If you're going there, downward facing dog. Good. Pedal out those legs again. You might want to move your hips around a little bit, find a little more movement. Today we're moving a bit more. Good, nice. And then press the chest towards the thighs, keep the hips lifted and elevated, and drop the heels downwards. One more breath here, inhale, exhale. Perfect. Now put the knees on the ground. Pick up your right hand and park your right foot forward. Open your arm out to the side. You can also reach around your back, holding the back waist area and looking up. Or you can keep your arm here or hand on the leg. Yeah, just coming to a twist. Beautiful. And inhale, come forward. Now this time your hand comes onto the ground or the blocks. Pick up your back knee. So your back knee is lifted. Feeling nice and strong. And then you can slowly step the foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Good. Inhale, coming all the way up, arms stretch up. And exhale, hands to the heart. Lovely, full breath in. And full breath out. Okay, let's go into the other side from the top. So inhale, take the arms up. Big, wide arm span here. Good. Exhale, forward fold towards the earth. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Let's do that a few more times. Inhale, come forward and up. Feel your lumbar curve here. Exhale, fold towards the earth. Good. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do that one more. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Now step your left leg back. So your shoulders are just right above your hands. Get a nice long leg happening. Good. And then step forward and let's step that right leg back. To bring balance to our pose. Good. See if you can take those hands a little lighter on those blocks. Now step your right leg forward, step your left leg back again. Good. Drop your back knee. Take your arms up this time. Stretch your arms up. Bring your hand to your front thigh. Reach up and over to the side. Bring your arm back. Interlock your hands and stretch your arms back. Lift your chest. Beautiful. Bring your hands down. Pick up your back knee. See if you can get very light on those blocks. See if you can maybe even possibly take your hands off and fly for a moment. Good. Hands down. Bend the back leg, step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Good. Now step your right leg back. Good. Again, light touch on those blocks, perhaps even taking your hands off the blocks and fly. Good. Put your hands down, drop the back knee, take your arms forward and reach up. So now bring your hand onto your front thigh, which is your left thigh, reach your right arm up and over. Good. Lift the arm, interlock the hands, maybe the weird crossing. So it changes the crossing. When you reach your arms back, lift your chest, look up or straight forward. Beautiful, good. And then bring your hands onto the blocks or the ground, pick up your back knee. Get, again, light touch on those blocks and step the back leg forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up, stretch the arms up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Blocks are going to just go to the side. Well, we'll use them for a second. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Good. Now, move your prop, bend your knees, bring your hands to the earth, and step back to downward dog. Good. Let your heels just shift from side to side. Do a little dance here. Swaying the hips. Good. Come back to downward dog. Lift your hips up. Press your thighs back. And then rippling forward into your plank pose. We'll do this a few times. Never knees down or up. Yogi's choice. Exhale. Come back. You need to think of a ripple. The water element in the body is very evident when we move. Good. Exhale will lift us up. And inhale will bring us forward. Exhale up. Inhale forward. Stay in plank with the knees lifted or the knees down, yogi's choice. Now, if you are going all the way to the ground without your knees assisting, just make sure you don't collapse, okay? So pull the elbows back, knees down if you need to, or forearms, and lower to the earth. Good. Then unwind the feet so the feet can be hip distance or a little bit wider. And this time we're going to spider tip our fingertips onto the earth with the elbows lifted. So the elbows are not dropping back, they're up towards the ceiling. Spider tip your fingertips. Try light touch on those finger pads though. And then inhale, draw your chin towards your chest and curl up. Maybe even look up. And then as you exhale, ripple forward and down. Good, so I call these the cobra waves. Inhale and exhale. And you might be surprised that you get a little bit more height when you come up. If this is feeling really uncomfortable, just do little mini ones, little tiny ones. Good. Inhale to come up. Exhale to lower. Keep your pelvis rooted. Keep your thighs down, toes down, and the abdominals are just very subtly drawing in and up towards the back waist. They're not just collapsing onto your yoga mat, but you're not overdoing that. You want to be able to breathe easily. Good. Perfect. On the next one, come down. And this time you're going to cross your arms and rest your forehead on your arms for a moment. Good. Now lift your legs up if it's comfortable for you. If not, keep them on the ground. Otherwise, lift them up just a little bit. Lift the elbows up. And just find this action. If all is well, then you can also start to lift the palms away from the earth. So you could do this with your palms down and your head down. Lift your head a little bit if you like. And then lower the elbows and lower the legs. Good. Again, legs up, elbows up. Maybe the head and the palms lift. And then exhale, lowering everything down. Good. If it bothers your back, keep your legs down. Don't lift your legs. Good. One more time. Lift the legs, lift the elbows, lift the arms away from the earth. Take a couple breaths here. Good, and then lower all the way down. Now place your hands by your side ribs, flex your toes, push away from the earth. Bring your sitting bones all the way back towards your heels, arms are straight, head down. And when you're ready, lift up to your downward facing dog. Make sure your downward dog is nice and long. A good test to see if your downward dog is not too short for your height is to come forward and pretend you want to do a push-up. You don't have to do the push-up, but if you were, could you do a push-up from this position? If not, you need to walk your feet farther away or closer in. It'll be pretty evident pretty quickly. Good, now drop your knees down. We have to finish our twist on the other side. Left hand reaches up. Right hand can spin out a bit and the foot goes forward. And we're going to turn and open to the side. A couple big breaths here, inhale and exhale. Beautiful, and then I'm going to come all the way back. I'm going to use my blocks again. Pick up my back knee. If I can take a little less weight on those blocks, so I really can feel my legs start to kick in. And then I'll step my back leg forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold towards the earth. Good, and then inhale, coming all the way up, stretch the arms up. Exhale the hands to the heart. Take a full cycle of breath. Inhale. And exhale. One more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Lovely. Now we're going to just come into a lateral move. So you're going to bring your arms up. Left hand will hold that right wrist, lift up and come up and over to the side. Inhale, come back, stretch the arms up, come up and over to the other side. Noticing, how's that sideways feeling? Is a little tight. Let's try that again. This time we'll kick out the opposite foot. So I'm going over towards the left, lift up and over. Maybe just hover that foot. And find your balance. Good. Come back to center. Hold onto that wrist, lift up, come up and over to the other side. Once I get there, I'm just going to hover my foot to the side. Good. Come back. And bring my arms down. Good. Roll the shoulders. Okay. I think we'll do some standing poses today. So I'm going to use the blocks. You don't have to use them. I'll be facing the camera. You might not see my head, but all should be well. Okay. I'll move that back a little bit. So what you need to be on is a long side of your mat. You want the whole length. You're going to stand in the center line of your mat. Pull my pants up and pull my shirt down to start, and then roll your shoulders. Good. Now step out nice and wide. You want the stance to be wide enough that you do feel a little stretch on those inner thighs, but you're not sticking your buttocks out. So, if they're tight in here, you might need to have a little narrower stance. Good. Now open your arms. Your feet are pointing straight forward and stretch into your fingertips. Get really wide. Yeah. Take as much space up on your yoga mat as you can with your arms and your legs. Good. Now put your hands on your hips. You're going to pick up your toes and spin your right leg out to the short edge of your mat. Yeah. Now, so you have a big triangle between your legs now. Make sure your front heel lines up with your back inner arch. And open your arms. And as you open your arms, you might even be able to move that back foot back a bit, maybe go a little bit wider. Good. Now bend your front knee without taking your torso forward. Yeah, so this right now, you might feel a little bit of tension right in the inner groins. Watch your front knee, make sure your front knee doesn't fall in, press it out and press back up. So be very aware if you're leaning forward. In other words, are you doing one of these to go into warrior two? If you are, come back up, reach into your back hand and bring your body into mountain pose. Good, now turn to look over your front foot. And as you do that, press your back foot, especially the back edge of the foot into the mat. Press your back leg straight and see if you can drop a little bit lower right through the center line of your body. Take your back hand onto your back thigh, reach your front palm up and come into exalted or goddess warrior. Good. You want to look up or just look straight forward. You might even want to support the head here. Maybe you drop down a little bit deeper into that front thigh. That will really work your front hip. Good. Now come back to warrior two. Press into the front foot, bring yourself up, turn your toes forward. Roll your shoulders. Let any tension drip out of the body. Good. Now take your hands on your hips to connect to your hips. And pick up your left toes and spin them out. Good. Make sure your front heel lines up with your back inner arch. If your stance is not long enough, the best thing to do is always step your back leg back. Don't step your front foot forward because you work a little bit different that way. Bend your front knee. So I think, oh, maybe go a little longer, I step back. Yeah, that way it won't interfere with what's going on in this hip. So you bend down, make sure you're not leaning forward. This works, these poses work the inner hips, inner groins. Stretch into your fingertips, push your back leg straight, bend your front leg deeper. Now look over your back hand and settle into the pose. 3 breaths here. Back hand down on your back leg, palm turns to the ceiling, reach up. And descend down into the frontal hip. Maybe the hand goes behind the head or wherever it works. This hand can also reach around for the top of the thigh. Goddess pose. Very nice. Now back to warrior two for a breath. Push into the feet and come all the way up. Turn the toes in. Roll the shoulders. Good. Yeah. Standing poses build a lot of strength for the legs and the spine. So once we kind of get used to doing those, so we can do more seated poses on the ground. It can be a little more challenging. Okay, let's turn that right leg out, hands on hips, spin it out. Intersect front heel with back inner arch. Back foot can turn slightly in. I'm going to move my back foot back a little bit. And now I'm going to open my arms and come into warrior two again. Stretch your arms, relax your shoulders. Lovely. Now I'm going to move into side angle pose. We'll do a couple little flows. Okay. So we're going to inhale, arm comes up and over. This arm can rest on the thigh. And as we exhale, we come back. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Next one will stay. We're going to inhale, come all the way down. And if you want to go a little deeper, you know, you got these little frenzy blocks here. You could put your hand on the block, on the floor, on a chair, and then start to rotate and turn. So it is a twist. Push your back heel straight. Lift your back thigh, don't let it collapse. Kick a couple breaths here. Good, now really root into the ground. Think of your top wrist lifting you up. Inhale, slowly come back up. Warrior two. And then straighten the leg, turn the toes in. Then roll the shoulders. Coming out of the pose is more difficult than going in because you're working against gravity. So just take your time. Okay, hands on hip. Now let's turn our left foot out. Remember, you want a nice long stance to really open those inner groins. Good, now bend that front knee and open up into warrior two. Good, now take a big breath. Inhale, side angle pose, Parsvarottanasana. Exhale back into Virabhadrasana 2. Inhale, this is a flow. It's a dynamic flow preparing us for the static pose. Good. Inhale. Exhale, just notice too, how does this side feel? Might be a little more restricted on this side. Very nice. Now, next time we'll stay. So I'm coming all the way up and over. Now, if I'm using my arm against my leg, I push my arm gently into my leg to turn, rotate the ribs, bottom ribs turn up, top ribs turn back. And I go, maybe I'll just put my little hand on this block. It seems a little high. I'll lower it down and breathe. Watch that back leg. It tends to want to fall and collapse. So press, lift the back arch. Don't let your head drop. A lot of strength and stamina on these poses. Good. Now inhale will bring us back up, warrior two, and back up to straight legs. Roll the shoulders. Good. Hands on hips. Spin the right leg out. Back foot turns just like tiniest little turn of the back foot. I'd say an inch. Okay. Otherwise, you overturn it, irritates, gets into this hip moving too much. Good. This leg is going to be straight now. Make sure you're not locking the knees. We're going into triangle pose. Reach your arms out. Stretch into your fingertips. Now take a big breath, inhale. As you exhale, you're reaching forward. Keep this hand on your back hip, left hand, and start to come down. Now I'm using my block here. I quite like my block. If you don't have a block, hand on leg. Now, with your hand against the leg or the block or the book, turn your chest. It's a twist. So rotate and turn. This top shoulder has to move back and create as much length from the bottom hip to the top bottom armpit as you can. So the sideways, you want to think of lengthening. Good. If your shoulder allows it, take your arm up. Good. Firm your thighs, lift your kneecaps, but do not lock your knee. And possibly look up. You might just want to look sideways or down. The chest should be beaming towards the ceiling, not towards the ground. If it is, just move your hand higher up your leg. Good. Now use your inhalation to lift you back up. Turn your toes, bring your arms down, and roll those shoulders. Good. Hands on hips. That spin the left leg out. We're really turning the leg bone in the hip joint. So it's not the foot turning, it's the femur right at the top. I'm turning, the foot's following the movement. Back foot turns just a touch in, or it could be straight sideways. Okay, now open your arms, reach a little bit back into your right hand because the tendency is to come forward too much. Take a big breath, inhale, and on the exhale, start to come into that long waist side bend. Good. I'm going to put my hand on my block, or you can have it on your leg, and this hand goes on my hip. Then I'm going to lean back a bit. Take your head back, take your shoulders back. Often I do this at the wall. So if you have a wall, you could think of the wall supporting your back body here. Good. And then maybe that arm goes up. Vision could be down. If you're a little tight in the neck or the shoulders, you might prefer to look down or just sideways. If you're looking up, just make sure that you're not getting into sort of a really tense neck situation. You have to turn the chest enough to turn the head. Beautiful. Firm the thigh, lift the kneecaps. Can you lift those arches a little bit of the feet? Like you're clawing the earth with your feet and pulling the energy right up into the body. Take a breath, inhale, and let's lift that pelvic floor again on the exhale, find that core lift. Beautiful. Inhale, come back up, turn the toes, and bring the arms down. Good. Now roll those shoulders. And now we're going to come into a forward fold. If you find you don't like leaning forward, you can put your hands on a chair. You could go to the wall and put your hands on the wall, okay? Have your toes slightly in. Just going to show you with the blocks or books or cans, okay? So toes in. I'm going to lift my chest first of all, get those back bend muscles working, and then I'm going to come forward. Now, when you come forward, you want your hands planted firmly on the ground or on blocks. Even if your elbows bend, that is okay. You can reach the ground, no problem. You don't need the blocks. And then you start to come forward, take your weight forward, release your head downwards. Remember, if it's too deep to go into this deep forward fold, just put your hands on your couch or your coffee table with your legs wide. Let your head go. You can walk your hands back, so your hands, heels of the hands align with the heels of the feet, elbows bent here, head goes down. Weight now has to transfer a little bit forward into the front of the foot, so you're not hanging in the heels. Hips need to come forward now. Release your head, relax your eyes, your jaw, your face. Beautiful. Good, now we are going to make it really simple. We're going to wiggle our feet in, and we're going to come down onto our knees. And sit for a moment on the ground. As I said, the standing poses teach us how to strengthen the body so we can sit and do all sorts of cool stuff on the ground. You're sitting on the ground, you get a little squished by gravity, so it's difficult. Good, we're just going to go into a nice little twist here. So we're going to stretch our legs long, take our right hand across, left hand behind, and turn. Good. Inhale back to center, exhale to the other side. Rotate, turn. Very nice. Good. Now we're going to come all the way down onto our back. Now we're not coming up to do any more yoga poses. So if you're a little cool, just grab a blanket, coat, something. Socks are actually really nice for Shavasana. We don't want to have cold feet. And you're just going to lower yourself down. Just support yourself on the ground, come down. And once you're down, just pull your knees to your chest. Rock your legs from side to side. And let's just stretch that left leg out, right knee in for a moment, just hug it in. And then gently take your leg across, coming into a beautiful supine twist. Yeah, when you come over, if you go too far, you might find your shoulder lifts. So come back, let that shoulder stay imprinted on the earth, palm up, and look towards your right hand. If you have any back pain, this is a really nice pose just to open up the sacral area, glute area, lifted leg. Also great for digestion. Good, now come back, stretch that leg out, and then pull the other leg in, just drag it in. Cross it over when you're ready. So the left leg comes across, the right hand is a gentle guide. It's not pushing it down. Left arm reaches out, palm is up, shoulder back, and head can turn towards the palm. Lovely, and then come back, take your hands onto your knees, pull your knees in. Now push your knees out, open your knees, kind of like you're rowing, and then pull your knees in. Make these big sweeping circles. And then go the other direction. Perfect, plant the feet on the ground. Now we're just going to take our right ankle over our left thigh. Do a little bit differently today. We're going to take our hand on our right thigh and just nudge it out. When you do that, your hip shouldn't lift. So my left hip shouldn't slide up. There should be no movement in the pelvis. I'm cheating a little bit, so now my pelvis is moving. So I've got to be a little gentler, just a tiny movement. And then I'm going to just pick up my left foot, let my left foot dangle. It's not doing anything at all. And I want you to see if you can push your right thigh away and pull your left thigh in without the pelvis moving. Pelvis is stable here. So right thigh moves out, left thigh moves in. Right thigh moves out, left thigh moves in. Make sure there's no pain in the back. Now you're going to reach through the window of your leg and extend your left leg straight. Again, same action, right thigh moving out, left thigh moving in a bit, foot pressing to the ceiling. Good, and then bend the leg, bring the foot down, place both feet on the ground, come back to balance. Left ankle over right thigh. Right foot leaves the earth. Left thigh moves away from the left shoulder. Right thigh moves towards the right shoulder. Don't let it fall across the midline. So you work that way. Left thigh moves out, right thigh moves in. Pelvis is quiet, quiet, quiet. Good, now reach for the back of the right leg. You can always use a strap here or a belt. You can also just leave it out holding the leg if you can't reach, your head is down on the ground. And push the heel to the ceiling, firm the thigh, lift the kneecap. Front leg to release the back of the leg. Lovely, and bend the leg, place the foot on the ground. Both feet down, arms wide, let the knees track back and forth, windshield wiper those legs. Good, and then stretch your legs out for Shavasana. Yeah, just let the legs go. A little pillow for the head if you need it. Arms are just outside of the hips, unless you prefer them on your abdomen if you're cool. And for just the next few moments in time, allow yourself to relax. Let the flow of the breath change. Naturally, let it go. Relax your eyes, relax your jaw, relax your throat. Feel your whole body resting on the earth. Let it melt down into the ground. With that, let any tension go. Let it dissipate into the earth. Now slowly, very slowly start to bring the breath back into the body. Take a full inhale in, a full exhale out. To wiggle your fingertips, your toes. Stretch your arms over your head, sigh, yawn, stretch and reach. And please bend one leg at a time, place your feet on the earth. Place your hands one at a time on your abdomen. And then when you're ready, please roll to your right side. And when you're ready, press yourself all the way up. And once you arrive, just come to a seated position with your palms to your heart. Take a moment to connect with center. Connect with you. Just take a full inhalation. As you exhale, bow your head towards your heart. You are loved. You are blessed. You are an extension of all the life force in your body. Namaste. May you all have an absolutely beautiful day. And hopefully I will see you very soon at the club. Stay with your yoga, stay with your practice. A famous yogi said, do your yoga, all is coming. Namaste.